how to respond to a child's awkward questions. Maybe a question that leaves you feeling embarrassed or confused, or what's appropriate to say to my child at this age. I'm going to give you the quick A to E of how to respond to a child's awkward questions. So first of all, A, acknowledge. Acknowledge to yourself the question and acknowledge to the child. And A, assess. Assess, is this just a simple question, or is it a question that needs me to be very clear in my own mind about what's needed for the answer? So the A, acknowledge. Here's a question that's maybe not easy to answer. Just be conscious of it first of all. B, breathe, because when we want to jump in too fast, we come from a place of reaction that isn't always helpful. We can jump in with feet rather than giving what's really needed to the child in the answer. So if you breathe a couple of times and breathe deeply in and out, it gives the thinking part of your brain time to catch up with that reaction that can happen immediately. And C, calm. Choose calm, because if you in a place of calm, you're going to be able to come up with a response that is helpful for your child. D, developmentally appropriate. Sometimes we're going to want to give too much of an answer or too deep an answer. Be very aware of what is helpful for my child. And of course, not every child of the same chronological age has the same emotional or mental ability as another. So it needs to be an answer that's tailored to the particular developmental stage of that unique child. And E, explore. Explore what the question might mean for the child. It's very easy for us to jump in and presume we know what the child is saying. So for instance, one little girl said to her mummy, "Mummy, where do I come from?" And mummy sort of started jumping in with the birds and the bees. And the little girl said, "No, mummy, but my one friend comes from London and little Jimmy comes from South Africa. Mummy, where do I come from?" So be careful that we explore and understand what the child's question is. How do we say that? Maybe reflect the question and say, "So what I'm hearing you say is you're wondering where we're coming from. Tell me more about that." Because if we clarify the question, we'll then be able to clarify the answer as well. And also with asking a question, just answer that one particular question. You might want to jump in, for instance, if it's the birds and bees, you might want to jump in and give them the whole spiel. No, just answer that one particular question. And a final tip I'll add on as well. You can find all of this on the blog post. We'll give the detail before, but I'm going to add one extra tip that isn't on that blog post. And that is sometimes the most helpful way of answering a question is to answer the question with a question. So they might ask a question that you think where they're wanting to go with that. And you might just say back, "So what do you think the answer to that question is?" And sometimes that can lead to a far more fruitful discussion. So those are just a few thoughts, and do read the blog post on this to hear more deeply what we're talking about here. Thanks, Val Mullally. Have a great day.